Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. This is the French Master GH. In my previous video, I made a detailed lesson on how to write an informal letter in French. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a detailed lesson on how to write an official letter in French. An official letter is the one that is written or addressed to an office, an organization, or to your boss or someone at a very high position. So it must be strictly formal. If you are ready, I'm ready. Let's get started.
The French Master GH, the French Master GH, the French Master GH, the French Master GH.
TheFrenchMasterGH.com.
Learn French the easy way.
You're welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for supporting the French Master GH. Please, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so right now and like the video for more people to have access to it. I have a website called TheFrenchMasterGH.com where you can get access to tons and tons of French lessons to read, exercises, French past questions and answers, and then scheme of work and lesson plans for French teachers and other materials you can have access to learn French the easy way. I also published a new French book on the new curriculum titled Mon Ami. It's from book 4 to book 9, but for now book 4 and book 7 are out. They go with audiovisual strictly on the new curriculum. So just contact me or DM me for your copies. Okay, let's go straight to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write an official letter in French. The official letter in French is called la lettre formelle. La lettre formelle. An official letter is the one that is written or addressed to your boss at work or a company, an institution, or an office. It strictly adheres to formal conversational rules and codes. In this video, I'm going to take you through simple but important tips that will help you to write an official letter in French the very easy way. The French official letter also has two addresses as that of the English letter. So a formal greetings, a heading, a catchy introduction, a body, and a subscription. So two addresses as in English. It has a formal greeting, it has a heading, it has catching intro, and then a body and a subscription. Unlike the informal letter, it is compulsory to pen down your signature at the end of your letter. Okay, so in an informal letter, it is optional for you to sign or not. But in a formal letter or an official letter, you must sign. It is compulsory for you to sign. So let's take a look at these tips. Tip number 1. At the top left corner of your letter, you need to write your full name, then your address below it, and finally your telephone number and email address. Okay, so you write your full name at the top left corner. Under your full name, you write your address. After your address, you write your telephone number, and then under your telephone number, you write your email address. Now, so this is the example that I've circled in red. Okay, so you can see my address there, Elvis Fiati, PO Box HP 232 Ho. So my telephone number is there, 02497056113. Then my email address is also under it. That's where I circled in red. So that is an example. So you can also do it that way. Tip number 2. At the top right corner of the letter and a line below your address, you need to write the name or the title and the workplace if applicable, and the contact details of the person you are writing the letter to. Okay, so that is opposite to your address at the top right corner, and then it should be a line below it, not directly opposite to the thing. So let's see an example here. You can see I'm addressing the letter to the CREF director. So you see Directeur du CREF de Ho, Ola Senior High School, numéro 12, après the street, Ho, Volta, Ghana. Tip number 3. Now you have to write the dates on a line just below the address of your recipient. Your recipient is the one you are writing the letter to. just a line below your recipient's address, you have to write the date. Now you should remember that the date should include where you are writing the letter from, the town or the city where you are writing the letter from, and then the dates. So let me see. Yeah, so I have a sample for you here. There's you can see the address of the person I'm addressing the letter to, Directeur du Crève de Haut. So under his address, I've circled in red the date there. Aflao, virgule, le 19 août 2022. Aflao, virgule, le 19 août 2022. Meaning I'm writing the letter from Aflao, and I'm writing the letter on the 19th August 2022. Okay. Tip number 4. You need to write the heading of your letter, which is normally referred to as the subject. Okay, the heading of your letter. So here is how it's done. You have to write objet, and then you have your colon. Then you must give a heading, okay, a summary in a non-verbal sentence, and on the reason for which you are writing the letter. Just a simple, like, for instance, if I'm looking for a job, I'll say, so I'll write objet, demande d'emploi. Objet, demande d'emploi. That means that I'm writing the letter to seek for job. So let's look at an example as I've circled in the letter here. So the place I've circled in red, you can see objet, demande d'emploi. So I'm looking for job. Okay. Tip number 5. The first thing you need to know is how to address the letter in French. This part is called formule d'appel, which is calling card, okay? Formule d'appel, how you are going to address the person. Okay, so if you know the name of the person you are addressing, you can begin your letter by writing in the center, Monsieur Sapon or Madame Baumia, okay? Meaning I know the person's name. So, Monsieur or Madame followed by the last name of the person you are writing to. If you don't know the person, as is often the case when you are writing a job application letter, just write still in the center of the letter, Madame, Monsieur, okay? Madame, Monsieur, that's all. That means in English, that is dear sir stroke madam. So you don't know whether the person is male or female. Okay, but if you are addressing a person with a high professional position or someone whose position is well known to you, it is absolutely necessary to mention this and write Monsieur le Ministre, example. So you know the person is a minister. Madame la Présidente, Monsieur le Directeur, Madame la Directrice. Okay, so you know the person's position and you know the person's gender. So let's look at an example here. So you have Monsieur le Directeur, as I've circled here in red. Monsieur le Directeur. So I know that I'm addressing the director, and the director is a male, so I said Monsieur. But if the crève director is a female, I will say Madame la Directrice. Okay. Tip number 6. Then we move to the body of the letter, which is called le corps de la lettre. Le corps de la lettre. Here you must explain in the first paragraph the context of your letter or your claim. For example, if you are writing a letter for employment, you must state directly that you are looking for a job and the particular position or job you are applying for. You must go straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Okay, these are some of the ways you can introduce your letter in that regard. Actuellement, then you start, and you can talk about your personal or business situation depending on the context. You can also use this faisant suite à notre conversation téléphonique, meaning that you've called the person before about a job, and then the person assured you that there are vacancies for you to apply for. So suite à notre conversation téléphonique. Or you can also use this one, suite à votre courrier dû, then you add a date. Okay, that is, you are referencing an email that was sent to you, or an email message that you receive or saw somewhere. You can also use this one. Suite à votre lettre datée et publiée. Maybe a letter was published in a dailies that you've seen, and then you are going to refer to it before writing the letter. Okay, so there is an example here in the letter which I've written addressing the CREF director. Okay, so let me read that out. It's the one in red that I circled in red. Suite à votre lettre numéro 123, publiée dans l'Info Prof 2022, page 68, j'ai l'honneur de solliciter votre bienveillance, de bien vouloir accepter ma candidature pour le poste d'informaticien, du CREF de Haut, meaning I'm applying to be an IT director there, or IT personnel at the CREF of Haut. So I've mentioned that straightly. I've not beaten around the bush. Tip number 7. You need to write a polite closing remark followed by the subscription. Here, I have some of the ways you can write the closing remark here. So I have 3 ways here for you. The first one is you can say, je vous prie d'agréer X there, meaning you can, Monsieur le directeur, in my case here, or Madame la directrice, or Monsieur le ministre, l'expression de mes salutations distinguées. You can also say l'expression de mes sentiments distingués. The second way is you can say, je vous prie d'agréer, example, Monsieur le directeur, or Madame la directrice, l'expression de mes salutations dévouées. L'expression de mes salutations dévouées. This means that you are providing a service to someone, okay? Okay, so the third example, je vous prie d'agréer Monsieur le directeur or Madame la directrice or whoever you are addressing the letter to, l'expression de mes sentiments distingués. So this is very formal but a bit more personal. So this is an example here in the letter that I've written to CREF. You can see that's where I've circled in red. Tip number 8. You need to write a subscription. You must sign under it and write your full name under the signature in brackets. Okay, so your name should be in brackets. And also, you have to remember never to use tu to address your recipient when writing an official letter. You must always use vous, because it's a formal situation. You never use tu to address someone in a formal situation or an official letter. You have to always use vous. Okay. So this is an example here down. You can see I've my subscription respectueusement. You can also use cordialement. And then I've signed. And under it, you can see Elvis Fiati in brackets, which is my name there in brackets. Merci beaucoup. We've come to the end of today's lesson. In this lesson, we learned how to write an official letter in French, and we said there are tips you have to follow. The first tip, we said you should write your address at the top left corner. The second tip says that you have to write your recipient's address at the top right corner, but it should be a line below it. And then the third tip says that you should write the date a line below the address of your recipient. The date should include the place where you are writing the letter from. The tip number, the next tip says that you have to write the subject or the heading of your letter by starting with objet, then you go straight to the heading. And then you introduce a letter, then you have to subscribe. You do subscription, where you can write cordialement or respectueusement, comma, then your name, you sign, and your name. Your name should be in brackets. Then you have your official letter. And also, you should always remember to use vous to address your recipient in a formal letter. Never use tu. Merci beaucoup. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so and like the video, share it with your loved ones. Until then, we say au revoir.